Hey folks, welcome. My name is Dr. Marshal Hedin. I'm the Associate Chair of the department. Going to be talking to you today with this incoming MS student orientation. All right, let me share my screen real fast. Okay, here we are. So let me first tell you a little bit about our department. So within the department, we have multiple what are called program areas. These are just areas of academic expertise. So covering cell and molecular biology, covering ecology, and covering evolutionary biology. So each of these different program areas also houses grad programs, both master's and PhD graduate programs in these program areas. So we have a very diverse and integrative Department of Biology as a whole. And even though you folks are obviously accepted into a particular master's program, we ask and hope that you converse and talk to people in other program areas, increasing the integrative nature of the science. So the administrative structure of the department looks like this. The chair is Dr. Bob Zeller, and he's found in Life Sciences North, room 133. I'm the associate chair and the kind of the grad coordinator across all master's programs, and I'm in LSN 204E upstairs. Our department coordinator is Ceci. She's in LSN 104B. There's her email. You might talk to her for certain things. Assistant to chair is Patty Swinford. Patty works remotely. There's her email. You might talk to Patty about keys or course numbers. Our graduate programs coordinator for the master's programs is Brenda. She's downstairs in LSN 104. And you will be talking to Brenda about various things, as I'll suggest as we move forward. So there's important emails also there for Ceci, Patty, and Brenda. So we have multiple master's programs in biology, programs in molecular biology, microbiology, physiology. And we have program-specific advisors for these programs. So for MB, micro, and physiology, that program-specific advisor would be Dr. Ricardo Zayas. Ecology master's program-specific advisor would be Jeremy Long. Evolutionary biology program-specific advisor would be Dr. Kevin Burns. These are the folks that are closest to the programs that you're in and know most about those programs. So you'll be first going to these program-specific advisors for your problems and questions. Obviously, you're going to have orientations also with these people after this more general orientation. Just also be aware that within biology, we have joint PhD programs across the program areas, and you'll have other grad students that are PhD students. These grad students, of course, might be important in your master's student. So let's look at some of the information that is available for you as master's students. So I'll ask that you use this resource that's on our primary biology homepage, and it talks about our MS programs, and it has resources for our current master students. Okay, I hope that you can see this. So home for the Department of Biology, Biology, SDSU, EDU. Under academics, you can go to the Master's tab. Under the Master tab, you're interested in information for current MS students. Click on that. Okay, so each of these great things you can open and reveal some additional information. Also at the top, there's a flow chart that summarizes the whole process. So let's look at that flow chart really fast. So you've applied to the program and have been accepted either classified or conditionally conditionally means that there are some conditions that you need to meet in your first year. And then after you meet those conditions, basically take some classes, you will then move to classified standing. Once you've met those conditions, you'll want to submit a change of status form through the College of Grad Studies. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. By about the middle of the third semester, you will have worked with your principal investigator, the person who runs the lab in which you work, or your program-specific master's coordinator to understand the courses that you need to complete your degree, and you'll devise a DCP or degree completion plan, basically a map of the 30 to 31 units that you're going to take to complete the degree. Once you have this figured out, and before or after you've been advanced to candidacy, you'll submit what is called a PAR form through the College of Grad Studies. That's the petition for adjusting academic requirements. You'll submit the PAR, I'll approve the PAR, and then that will be your degree completion plan. If that needs to be adjusted at the end, we can also submit a revised PAR. Maybe by the end of your third semester, you will be proposing your thesis, your master's thesis. You'll select a thesis committee. You'll advertise this publicly. You'll talk to Patty and she will put it on the bio bulletin. You'll give a short public presentation. And then once you've passed, you need to submit a thesis proposal form, which I'll show you in a sec. And then you'll send this thesis proposal form to the associate chair. That would be me. And you'll be advanced to candidacy. Okay, so once you're nearing the end, maybe let's say in your 5th or 6th semester, you need to do several things, and most of these are taken care of at the level of the Office of Grad Studies, not within the Department of Biology. Obviously, you're completing your research in the department, and you need to give a public defense. And some other very important things that need to happen at the university level are happening at the Office of Grad Studies. So you'll need to file a thesis committee form, sorry. To do that, you must have already advanced to candidacy. You need to enroll in 799A thesis, getting the schedule number from the College of Grad Studies. You need to apply for graduation, and you need to submit your approved thesis to thesis review. I'll show you in a second some resources that are available through the College of Grad Studies that kind of help to clarify this. One thing that I would point out is that, you know, in your 5th or 6th semester, you're obviously going to have forgotten about the things that I'm telling you today. So just make sure that you are coming back to this flow chart and making sure that you're on track to do the things that you need to do. Let's look here again, below the flow chart. This talks about what you need to do if you're accepted conditionally. You need to clear the conditions and submit your change status form. This talks about the DCP. And very importantly, under this, all of this stuff, and I'm not going to go into the details, you can read it. There's something called sample programs of study. This basically just simplifies the things that you need to do to get to the 30 to 31 units as a master's student. So let's say you're in MB or physiology. You have 3 units of research, 3 units of thesis proposal, 3 of thesis. Very importantly, these 2 programs require 6 units of MBio 610, both in your first fall and your first spring, and 3 semesters of MBio 601. And then you'll make it up with 12 units of graded courses. If you're in ecology or EB, you can take 6 units of research, 3 units of thesis, 799A, and then 21 additional units of other graded courses, to include 3 units of thesis proposal 600. If you're in micro, it's a little more restrictive. As you can see, 3 units of 797, 3 of thesis, 3 of thesis proposal. You have to take MBio 610, but only 3 units in the fall. You have to take Biology 549, MBio 600, and then MBio 601, a single semester, then 12 of other graded courses. So just make sure you check back on this. It helps you to understand more clearly your 30 to 31 unit DCP. If you're going to propose your thesis, let's say in your 3rd or 4th semester in ecology or evolutionary biology, this talks about how to do that. Once you've successfully done that, you submit your thesis proposal form, and then you can be advanced to candidacy. This talks about how your thesis proposal will work in MBio, micro, or physiology. Again, at the end, submitting your thesis proposal form, and you're being advanced to candidacy. This just talks about the fact that you've submitted your thesis proposal form, and then you can be advanced to candidacy, and that advanced to candidacy is a form that you and I submit through grad studies. Getting towards the end, you're submitting a thesis committee form to the Office of Grad Studies. You're applying and taking 3 units of 799A thesis. You are writing your thesis, of course, in the background, and you're then applying for graduation. There's a dissertation and thesis review tab here. You're defending your thesis within the department, and then there's a thesis review. So again, all of this stuff kind of happens in your final semester, and most of it is happening outside of the department. But there are very important things that are required by the university for you to get your degree. Okay, so we've discussed that. Again, here's the flow chart, the top part of it, and here's the second part of the flow chart. Here's your sample programs of study, 30 to 31 units for MBio, physiology, ecology, evolutionary biology, and microbiology. Let's look at some departmental sources of information. So the grad advisor coordinator, the associate chair, that's me. Again, I'm sitting in between the department and the College of Grad Studies. I help you interpret rules, maybe extend some deadlines, maybe a special petition, etc. And I sign some of the forms that go to the College of Grad Studies. So for example, advancement candidacy, the PAR, to change programs if you are moving from conditional to classified. You have program area grad advisors, program specific advisors, Dr. Zayas, Burns, Long. They'll help you understand the courses that you need to take in consultation with your principal investigator. They'll help you with understanding what your thesis proposal needs to look like. They might sign off on some things. And for MBio, micro, and physiology, if you're a master's student in one of those, they'll help you understand which labs might be accepting new students. In ecology and evolutionary biology, that's kind of already been done when you were accepted into the program. You're going to talk about your principal investigator, really to understand your DCP, the courses, etc. But sometimes, frankly, the PI may not know all of the official rules, all of the nitty-gritty, all of this stuff. So work with your grad advisor and the associate chair on those things. You'll learn some other things through the bio bulletin, maybe some important announcements. And the bio bulletin is where you might announce your public events like your thesis proposal and your thesis defense. And to do this, you'll be contacting Patty Swinford generally 2 weeks in advance. Again, her email is right here. Okay. If you're going to drive as a master's student, maybe to some meetings or for your research, you need to have completed a T2 form. The link to understand how those work, that link is here, but it's maybe a little confusing, so it might be easiest to contact Brenda about that if you're going to be driving. you'll also need to have completed the defensive driving course online. Brenda can help you understand or point you to where you can find that. Okay. So some important outside sources of information. Again, the College of Grad Studies, they're conferring the degree. The university is conferring the degree, not the department. So you need to follow their guidelines very closely. Let's take a look at some of the resources that they have for you. Okay, so I've gone there, grad SDSU EDU. You guys are current students. Here's a link to find those forms. So advancement to candidacy, change of status, if you're conditional and want to go to classified, and PAR. Those are 3 forms that all of you will need to complete somewhere down along the lines, and you can click that link right there. Shows you how to go there. And sometimes when you submit that, it'll kind of ping me, and I'll then need to approve it or complete it. Sometimes I actually might need to start the form, like the advancement deadlines and announcements. So very important, graduation and thesis steps for master students, fall 22 deadlines. So again, this is kind of comes at the end, and these are all of the things that you need to do to complete the degree right at the end. And these are things that are happening outside of the department. So look very closely at these final steps in your final semester, getting towards the final semester. Helpful resources. I would look at this new grad student orientation page, and I would look closely at this grad student and TA handbook page. You can look at all of them, but those are maybe the most important and why they're at the top. This talks about the DCP, those 30 to 31 units, and talks about how you're going to be submitting the PAR. Again, understanding what the classes are things that you do in consultation with your PI and your program-specific advisor. There's some more FAQs. What if I've been admitted conditionally, etc. Okay, so make sure that you take a very close look at these resources, because again, these are the folks that are conferring ultimately the degree. Okay. So curriculum services has a catalog, and those would have, most importantly for you, the list of the courses that are available for you to take. But those courses will also be available to you through the program-specific advisor. Okay, so we're nearing the end here. Let's look at some important advice. Make sure that you're completing your thesis proposal on time. So maybe by your 3rd, or certainly no more than your 4th semester, if your plan is to maybe to finish in 2.5 or 3. So you don't want to wait too long to complete this thesis proposal, because it's also associated with your advancement to candidacy and the PAR. If you're a non-resident and you want to establish residency to get in-state tuition and in-state tuition waivers, importantly, if you're a TA, you can follow this link. It talks about the processes that you'll need to complete to establish residency. Obviously, we're going to expect that you maintain good grades, so I don't really need to talk very much about this, but there are some thresholds for the Office of Grad Studies. And very importantly, when you sign up for thesis proposal 600, let's say you think that you're going to propose in the spring semester, but let's say it doesn't happen, so that you get it incomplete. You just want to make sure that you clear that incomplete relatively quickly, because it will revert to an F. You also need to get your SDSU ID. I think that all of you have already done this as you've enrolled and registered. Understand that this is the official email contact for the university, and if you're a TA, this is how your grad coordinator is communicating with you. This is how you'll sign your contract, etc. There's a link for that. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact myself or contact Brenda. She is there to help you. All right, that's what I have for you. Thank you.